you've kind of heard throughout our show so far about people going out buying houses, how people should maybe buy them. And there's so many mistakes it still seems that people make when they're out buying houses. Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you kind of see the same things happening over and over again and mistakes like that being made. So thought we'd chat a little bit about those today. So one simple step is just get pre-approved before you go out and actually start looking at homes.
People still not do that?
Yeah, I mean, we work with a lot of...
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's why it's the number one on the list. Yeah, we get a lot of online leads from people looking on Zillow or Trulia or on our company website, and they want to go see stuff before they actually get pre-approved, and it just never works out in our favor to do it that way. So it's for the buyers, they want to know how much they can afford before you actually go out there and fall in love with a home you can't buy.
You know, coming from the mortgage business,
yes,
I have always tried to figure out why the natural progression of the way people go is from a real estate agent then to a mortgage person. It seems to me that most people try to figure out how much money they have in their wallet before they go shopping, right? And it always has been interesting to me to see that how many people will go look at houses without knowing how much money they have. Like, you don't go shopping without knowing how much money is in your wallet, right? I mean, you wouldn't go grocery shopping not knowing if you could afford bread and eggs or whatever you're getting.
Yeah,
it's very different the way that people progress through a home buying process.
Yeah, they kind of make that decision searching online or driving by, hey, let's go talk to a real estate agent, and then they kind of work backwards. It's a very funny thing.
Yeah, it is, and I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me, but...
Yeah. Well, now everybody knows, so there's no reason for that to happen again.
That's right. That's right. What are some other, it seems to me that some of this is in haste. You know, people are like, oh, we want the house, buy the house. It's that emotional purchase. What are some other things that people, maybe big mistakes they're making?
Not having a home inspection. I know that sounds really crazy, but especially in the past, like we talked about 3 months ago to a year ago, there were so many offers coming on these properties, and to make your offer look more attractive, a lot of agents will suggest to their buyers, hey, let's not have a home inspection. Let's not include that contingency in your offer to make it look better. And it definitely looks better to the seller because that's one thing they don't have to worry about.
But the fact the house is crumbling and nobody's going to find out.
Yeah, no one's going to figure out that there's 3 feet of water in the crawl space there. So, but definitely one thing that you want to do. I mean, that can be a huge mistake. You always hear horror stories from people that didn't get a good inspector or didn't have the inspection. So don't make that mistake.
Now, if you're working with a good agent, I imagine that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. One way around that to not include it in the offer is just do a pre-inspection. So you can do that beforehand, before you actually submit the offer in, and that'll help give you an idea of the major things that might need to get fixed, and you can plan your budget accordingly from there.
So of the 7 mistakes buyers still make, we have touring homes without being pre-approved, not having a home inspection. What is the third one?
Working with a part-time agent. So this happens all the time. I'll get a call from someone that's been searching for a year and a half, and I'm like, wow, and they know everything about the neighborhood. They've looked at all these different houses, and so I go, well, you must have been working with an agent to get in and out of these houses. Either they were just going to open houses, or they're working with another agent that they weren't happy with, and a lot of them are part-time agents that can't keep up with, showing them homes when they need to take a look on the weekends or after work or during the day, and so it's never a good mistake to make there.
Yeah. Let's go to number 4 here.
Thinking there's only one good house for them. So we see people that just fall in love with a particular home, and then they get discouraged when they don't get it, either as a multiple offer situation or they couldn't come together on terms, and then they just give up. So there's plenty of houses out there that are going to be good, and it's just one of those things you got to overcome that fear of missing out on a home again and just get out there and get back up on the saddle.
Do a lot of people just look for the perfect house? I mean, is there some point in time where like, look, it almost doesn't exist. You want a perfect house, go build it.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's actually very interesting.
And then it's not perfect anymore by the time they're done, right? I think we've heard that before.
Not what they pictured. It's interesting that they'll start with a list of 100 things, and then they go out and you email them one listing that might have half of that stuff, and then their expectations get in line, and then you go out and show them a couple homes. So their needs and wants at the beginning really switch towards the end once they realize what's available for the price.
Yeah, and as people, and we'll get into here number 5, because as people look for that perfect house, sometimes they just push it off and push it off, and that is, I guess, number 5, that big mistake.
Yeah, people are like, oh, we'll wait till the spring, and hey, there's not enough inventory out there, so let's just wait until everybody puts their home on the market during the spring is kind of the thought on the industry kind of there. So,
but that's when everybody comes out and buys houses too. We talked about this in March and April. that, and we talked about it a year and a half ago, saying, hey, this is the time you should go buy a house. There's no competition. You have time. You make a good offer.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody waits till the spring, and now it's frenzy time. And it's like, it's not that there's just more listings. There's also more buyers that come out in spring. So it doesn't seem to make as much sense as people think.
Yeah, it's the people right now have a window of opportunity where there's not going to be as much competitions on the buying end. Maybe there is little inventory, but like Corey was saying earlier, now's a good time to get out there and take advantage of that home. Rates are going up and prices are going up. They've gone up 4.2% in the last 12 months in King and Pierce County, and we're going to see that trend probably be about the same thing next year. So,
what about you talked about pre-approvals here. Do you have what is one that it has more to do with the loan piece mistake you see?
Well, like we said earlier, we're getting a lot of online buyers. So those are the people that are kind of shopping for agents and then shopping for lenders. And you can see quotes on Zillow and other websites that say, hey, we can get you 4.25 if you work with us. And that sometimes is for like a quick 10-day lock where no homes close in 10 days, unless it's a cash deal and you're not even getting financing. So you really want to just work with someone that you trust. And if you want to be doing your due diligence, get a second GFE, which is a good faith estimate, and compare apples to apples with the same lenders, one lender's GFE versus another, and then make a decision from there.
It's the same thing that we've talked about before, though, about, it's like the biggest liar can get the deal. Yeah. Right? Say you can sell your house for more. Oh, he can sell my house for more. Well, if he wants to buy it, that makes sense as an agent.
Yeah.
Same thing happens with mortgages, though. I mean, mortgage brokers, there's really nothing tied to a phone quote. I mean, I could go quote somebody 3.5% if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And, it's not ethical, but it's also people do it.
I think to that point, if it sounds too good to be true, if you've got a real estate agent on a listing appointment that says they can sell their house for $20,000 more, it's probably not the case. Same thing with the rate. If they can, if they're quoting you 3.5, they probably can't get that for you. So trust your gut on that.
Tyler, we just have about a minute left. Again, we're here with Tyler Freed, branch manager at Windermere Real Estate Lake Tapps. What is the 7th mistake you see buyers making right now?
Well, not driving by the home beforehand, before you go on a tour. So especially work with a lot of people that are, relocating from a long ways away to a particular neighborhood or city or whatnot. So there'll probably be 10 houses that could be in your price range that look really good online. You tour the photo gallery, and this could be the one. You need to go out there and drive by the house. You need to see what the neighbors look like. I mean, I've been to houses that look really flat, and then you get there, and then the backyard's super sloped or the driveway's super sloped. And so you'll be able to tell a lot just by driving by the home. And taking those 10 homes, driving by them, you can narrow it down to 4 or 5 and save yourself a half a day and spend more time in the homes that are possibilities for you.
And there's a lot of houses like that in Seattle where they're almost sitting on a hill with 60 steps just to get to them.
Yeah.
That really doesn't work for a lot of people.
That scares me for drainage. I don't know about you, but yeah. So
it scares me for walking home every day from the street.
Yeah. There you go.